We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.
It's 2 minutes past 11. Good morning. Welcome to a fun-filled, fantastic Friday here on the Midday Show with me, Ita Ennang. It's Lagos Talks 91.3, and on Fridays, how best to start the Midday Show if not with the people's perspective? That show where we get to dissect these different pertinent topics, be it political, lifestyle, written, and the list goes on and on. So far it affects you as a Nigerian citizen and as a global citizen. Then we're going to talk about it and we're going to say things as it is. Thankfully, I have a co-host that is extremely knowledgeable and very vocal. His name is Seun Kuti.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Ify.
Seun, you need to explain what is going on your face at the moment.
Yes,
I'm just confused.
I don't know. I have this mask that, has been advertised to me.
It's been advertised to you?
Not only to prevent corona, but to scare it away from me.
What? Oh my God.
You have to be ready. This is a two-pronged challenge. In case the corona is brave enough to come close, there is a mask.
Wow.
But many of the corona that will see this my mask from afar, they will have to, look for other victims.
I'm not really sure Corona is scared of anything.
Corona beware. That's what you think. That's what you think.
Guys, by the way, we're live on Instagram at Lagos Talks 913. Go check it out. See exactly what Seun is wearing. When he stepped into the studio this morning, I was scared. I won't even lie to you because this was not what I expected at all. And this mask is extremely scary.
Abi?
It's very scary.
Yeah, don't worry. I told you I'll get you.
Alright guys, make sure you're tuning in via social media at Lagos Talks 913. That's Instagram. You could drop your comments there as well. If you'd like to join the conversation, you could drop your comments on WhatsApp 0809-234-5913 and on Twitter at Lagos Talks 913 using the hashtag The People's Perspective. Okay, there are a few stories that we're going to be touching on today. The three top stories are the pump price increase, which a lot of people have been complaining about. Kama 2.0, like you call it, Seun.
Yes.
2.0. And then we're going to be talking about a recent update, so to speak, on the social media bill. So we're going to be taking a look at that and we're going to be sharing more information with you.
And also going to praise our lucky sister, our elder stateswoman that has now officially become an American.
Oh, this was since last year.
Has now officially, but now officially no more Nigerian. She has to swear her oath.
You know what? We're gonna okay. I'm hoping that we have time to
I know many Nigerians are praying for that kind of breakthrough. Let's tap into our anointing and blessing, please.
We're gonna take a look at that as well. All right, guys. Let's start off with the petrol pump price increase. Now, there seems to be a lot of confusion about the recent increase in petrol prices. Now, the pump price of PMS, of course, Petrol, appears set to hit 160 naira per litre, as the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has increased the price at which it sells the product to marketers from 138.62 naira per litre to 147.67 naira per litre. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, that 147 when you heard 151. Well, here's where the confusion actually did start. The Petroleum Products Marketing Company, a subsidiary of the NNPC, had initially, and this was on Wednesday, increased the ex-depot price of PMS to 151.56 naira per litre, with marketers saying that, the product will be sold at between 162 naira and 165 naira per litre. Now, the ex-depot price, which we know is the price at which the product is sold to the marketers at the depot. And so the 151.56 naira ex-depot price was announced in an internal memo to all stakeholders on the 2nd of September, dated the 2nd of September. And this memo, a copy which has been seen by different news outlets, it says, and I quote, "Please be informed that a new product price adjustment has been effected on our payment platform. To this end, the price of premium motor spirit is now 151 naira 56 kobo per litre. This is effective from the 2nd of September. But the PPMC is in another internal memo dated the 2nd of September as well, then reduced the ex-depot price to 147.67 naira per litre. And this got people confused. So when the ex-depot price was fixed at 138.62 naira. Back in August, marketers were selling petrol at between 148 naira and 150 naira per litre. With a new ex-depot price of 147.67 per litre, the pump price may be between 157 naira and 160 naira per litre. Now, amidst the different ex-depot prices, the managing director of the PPMC, Musa Lawal, spoke to news outlets that the first ex-depot price was wrong and should be discarded. He said the company was investigating how the first memo went out, stressing that although it was from the PPMC, the figures were still being computed and they had not been concluded. He said, and I
The
quote,
figures broke out. Prison break.
so he
They
said, and I
wanted to be out
quote,
there. Yes.
he said, that is not authentic. It is wrong and there's a price review which shall be communicated properly. But what came out earlier today is the wrong one. This was said on Wednesday. And when he was asked to provide the correct one, he said the one that you saw today on the website of one of the dailies is the wrong one. So as we speak, the circumstances under which that happened are being investigated. However, I cannot tell you more than this is, as the PPPRA, that's Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, is the one to fix prices because we sell based on, of course, the guiding price from them. And so at the moment, what they're saying is, what we did receive initially is wrong. And so what we should be going by is that it's been increased. The ex-depot price has been increased to 147.67 naira.
Okay, they didn't stab our neck. They're just strangling us. We
think
are sorry,
so.
sir. We
so.
understand. We understand
Yeah.
now. Yes, everybody, please take note. They say they are not stabbing us in the neck. Oh. They're just strangling
At least they're
us
saying
slowly.
we reduced it a little bit.
We are strangling
So
you
it's-
slowly. We are not the
my
kind
God.
that will stab. Thank you, sir.
Seun, what do you think about this? Because we know that a few months ago, if not just last month, where we were complaining already about the increase in the ex-depot price, and now there is another increase from what we have seen, and as expected, the citizenry is complaining bitterly about it.
I think the Nigerians have to say that there's a game here. After Obasanjo's 8 years, I think the elite, Obasanjo tried to win a third term. They all ganged up against him. I'm very happy the way our elites come together when it is for their own narrow interest. The unity.
Interesting.
It's true. The unity, now. They've come together, they form party, they form association, they form this, they form that. They know how to form things very well. So I think they've done a meeting. This is my own thinking, I'm not saying. That, okay, every 8 years now, we'll be chopping. We'll form these two, APC, PDP. When you chop 8 years, towards the end of your 8th year, you will do something so heinous to the people that they will have to vote you out.
Oh my God.
And then we will come in based on that anger. And then the next, because this APC was put in government by petroleum price protest.
I remember that clearly.
Everybody in this government, from Buhari to Osibanjo to Asiwaju, everybody was protesting petrol price hike. Just 6 years ago. Just 8 years ago here. Everybody was complaining and marching on the streets.
Yeah.
Now they are the ones there, and what are they doing? Not only are they increased, they've increased it twice in 1 month. They strangle. So that by 2023, we said we will not be angry and now say, okay, we want to change APC for PDP. That's the one we should not follow. It's time to change these people for the people. We have to change these people with the people.
Indeed.
I'm telling you.
It's very disheartening. Let's even start off with our current status as a poverty capital of the world. We have over 90 million people living in abject poverty. And already, with what's going on with petroleum, knowing that petroleum affects every aspect of your life, literally. You know that if they increase petrol prices...
He's not kidding for this mask.
We know that if they increase petrol prices, it means that goods and services increase automatically, transportation increases, so cost of living increases, and our purchasing power reduces. So just imagine, already we're poverty capital, then coupled with COVID-19, with the high unemployment rate, because it increased drastically during this COVID-19 era. So people are still struggling to try to figure out how they can manage the effects of COVID-19, and now the government has hit them with this one. To what end?
See, this is the thing. This is why I don't believe Nigeria is really functioning union. Because there has to be an unwritten
agreement in society. That at the bottom of it all, at the base, at the foundation of it all, we are all working for the better of our children, or for tomorrow. We are working for a better something. That has to be the underlying factor.
Yes.
Our vice president was at the when he sent his appeal, it was a book launch that he sent his speech to.
Okay.
And that speech, I mean, is incredible that what he said was exactly what I've been saying on this show every day.
Okay.
He claimed, because this was more like a elitist book launch that would be them. He said the truth.
Okay.
He said the Nigerian elite basically said they were visionless and didn't have
Is that
a plan.
exactly what he said, or how did he
I
say?
say, if I tell you, I would bring out this code, but it's in my other phone.
Oh my
Because
God.
I had to save it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I had to save it because it was basically, yeah. He said they did not even have a self-preserving plan. You understand
But it's
that?
the truth, though.
There are many elites in the world, definitely, even though they improve their economies and their country for self-preservation, that over here, even that self-preservation,
Yes.
a cogent plan for it is lacking.
That's terrible.
Because for me, every country, every nation is driven by its elites. There's no option to it. We can sit here all day and they'll say Nigerian youths are not serious. Nigerian youths are lazy. They don't fight for their right. I'm like, show me a country young people built. Show me a country. Young people must be given the platform that would channel their potentials positively. So, people that have made billions, throwing it in our face.
Yeah.
I don't think they've made these billions from creating anything. They've made it from selling our commonwealth, by being the gatekeepers of our existence. As I've said on this show many times, selling our petrol, selling our food, collecting rent, our land, our resources. That's what they all do. Okay, we are fine. But at times like this, when the nation needs sacrifice, this is the time that the elite of Nigeria need to step up. They need to step up and take a hit on behalf of the nation.
Okay.
They have to take a hit on behalf of the nation. Everybody cannot just sit down and say, "Oh, that's not how business is run."
Yeah.
They're going to say, "That's not, tell them to sacrifice. That's not how business is run." Is this how money is made? This is the question I always ask. The way all of you made your money, is that how money is made? Come on, let's all cut ourselves some slack here. I'm not even here to blame anybody. I just want the ones in Nigeria that should do what is right to do what is right, because trust me, this might be the straw that will break the camel's back.
Yes.
Nigerian people cannot really take much more. You people sitting down, you have your yacht, you have your private jets, you don't have one, you don't have two, you have houses all over the world. I mean, what do you need more profits for? Is it this time to, okay, fine, let me sit on what I have, let's make these things work for the people, let's not look at profits only.
So Seun, because with the ex-depot prices increasing, right, and they're selling it to the marketers at that particular amount, and they have to then, maybe due to retail margin, marketing margin, and other costs,
That's what I'm saying.
It increases. So do you expect the retailers or the marketers to sell it at the same price that they're buying it from the NNPC?
I even expect them to sell it for less, because they have failed us by not creating local refineries. You see, in the beginning, when they were all entering this business, when they were opening up our petrol and diesel to all of them, these so-called local marketers, one of the main reasons that they used to push this policy through was that Nigeria will have refineries everywhere.
Yes.
That will not have to refine our petrol, that they will make so much money that they will invest the money back in the people, invest the money back in those communities. You see, that part of the agreement we have not seen. It is their own individual development that we have seen, what our resources and our commonwealth has given to them, and then they want us to live vicariously through them, that their victories are our victory, that their enjoyment is our enjoyment. They throw it in our face, so we can be looking up because you have to be the ones to lead this nation properly. That is why you have been given, to whom much is given, as they say.
Okay.
Even much more in Nigeria is expected.
Okay. So what role really does the government play? Because first of all, the government's responsibility is the welfare of the people, and clearly they're lacking in that if they're constantly reducing the purchasing power of the citizenry.
Exactly.
And they're further driving us into poverty. So what is the responsibility of the government officials that we voted into power?
Okay, we want to say that the government. We have to agree when we say
everybody knows that Nigerian government is not a government of the people, right?
Sadly.
Exactly. So, if I take everybody back real quick to like 2008, 2009, when the financial crisis in this world was happening, did the rich people in Nigeria get bailed out or not? Did we, the Nigerian people, bail out the rich people in Nigeria or not? Yes, we did. Over $8 billion was spent. That's what created AMCON. The initial money we paid just to... Now, it was called the credit crunch. Prime mortgage crunch, whatever. So prime mortgage crash. The credit crunch. Please, Nigerians, have you received credit before? Where's your subprime mortgage? We had nothing. We did not benefit from this largesse in any way. Our rich tapped into it due to their own global network, and they took a hit. Who paid for it?
The people.
We, the people, paid for it. We bailed them out billions, hundreds of billions of naira, billions of dollars. These same people today, can they take a hit for us? So for me, it's not about the government, right? The government will do what the government will do in Nigeria until we get it right with governance. So that's why I always talk about we, the people of Nigeria, the professionals that have some power outside the government. Why do we continue to look up to these elites that act like the government, even in their own private institutions? Are they the ones that don't have refinery? But they have private jets. You are in oil. In a country that has oil. Your pride is to have Rolls Royce and private jets before refinery.
So I see where you're coming from. So you're saying that at the moment, we clearly see that we might not see a difference in governance until maybe the next elections where we actually vote the right people. And so till then, the elites are supposed to be on our side.
But they are
supposed
not.
to be helping us.
Things like this is what proves me right when I lay my allegations against the elite class of Nigeria and the professionals that align with them.
All right, let's take some calls. If you'd like to comment, if you'd like to join the conversation, if you would just like to express how this affects you as a citizen of Nigeria, please feel free to do that. You can get on Twitter at Lagos Talks 913 using the hashtag The People's Perspective. Or you can call 0809 234 5913. 0809 222 0913 and 0809 191 3913. Lagos Talks.
God bless you, my sister. God bless you, brother. How are you doing?
Buddy.
Good morning. Who's speaking?
Well, my name is Peter Monte. I'm calling you from Seun.
All right, let's hear you, Peter.
Please, are you just starting this program or it has been on for over some time now?
This is the fourth episode.
Fifth episode.
Is it the fifth?
We're months.
I'm happy that I did not go to work early today, that I have to wait and Seun, please don't ever for me to stay away from this program to talk to us.
Thank you.
If need be, we have to send transport money to you, and we'll be listening to you again. Now, let me align my thoughts with you. You know, I am flabbergasted by what you are dishing out as a Nigerian, and what the anchor lady there is allowing you to dish out. You give me what in this country over the years, right from, let me say, I was mature, and when Obasanjo was the military head of state in this country. So from that time till now, it means I have been knowing what is going on in the country. We have always been promised that it is for the good of the Nigerian people. We have always been told that it is for the youth, so that youth can be the leaders of tomorrow. And until today, we keep researching people, and with their own and another brain, they cannot lead us to where they thought they will lead us. So like what we are saying now, I think we should take the boat by the hand this time around. We should take our future by our hand, not carrying guns. I just want to believe that maybe one of these days, when we talk together to suggest that we can say no, we should not speak our terms. Because we have complained enough, I think our mama don't do a bit. They don't travel, they buy the private jet and fly, they don't go on the road, they are supplied food, they don't buy food. Some of them don't buy food. They are supplied food, everything. And the business is all over. If they want to recover our economy, why can't they go and sell some of their houses abroad?
All right, Peter, thank you very much for your take. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Yeah, good morning. This is Victor. Seun talked about is
Yes.
spot on. As in, we, the elite, have decided to like sit down on our world and work.
Hello? Alright, I think we lost the call.
They don't
Lagos
verse for our
talks.
show.
Lagos
Please let the people talk. You people, let the
Who's
people
speaking?
talk.
Good morning, who's speaking?
Calling from Chicago.
Alright,
All the
welcome.
way, we are international.
Yes.
So we are international. You know that. You know
Yes,
that.
so
In fact, actually, I just called to add to your voice,
Okay.
and I'm hoping that, as you said, Seun, you just said that Nigerians cannot take much more, may not be able to take much more again. Like, are you sure? I really doubt it, because it seems like we keep shifting and adjusting. I hope we are getting to that point. The point where we cannot take much more. That's my hope. I just hope we are getting there, because if not,
well,
do it.
my brother, let me tell you, Samia, you know me, I'm not only online, I'm on ground. You know, and the pulse me I'm getting is different from anything I've gotten on the streets.
Okay.
As in right now, I think there's a different shift, you know, and that's why I'm really sad that we, as you know, those forward-thinking Nigerians that you know really want the best for this country,
Yeah.
have not really come together to create a platform to harness this energy.
Yeah.
You know, because what I don't want to happen as well is that this energy erupt again and
Yeah.
we let another group of oppressors
Sadly.
come and do, or just like in the 2012 Occupy Nigeria, use that energy to put themselves in power and become the new oppressors of the day.
Let's
you
hope
know.
not. Alright, if you want to send a WhatsApp message, please send it to 0809 234 5913. We need to move on to another story. Let's talk about Kama 2.0. We spoke about this last week, right? Or just last week?
Yes.
And so last week I did share that on the 7th of August, the President assented to the Companies and Allied Matters Act. That is KAMA 2020, which repeals and replaces the Companies and Allied Matters Act of 1990. Now, the President did explain that some innovative processes and procedures were included in this new document to ease the operation of companies, and a whole lot more. There's a lot of provision that this piece of legislation offers, right? Now, here are some clauses that affect religious bodies. Now, under this new law, they can replace church trustees if they reasonably believe that there has been mismanagement, misconduct, or fraud to protect its property in the public interest.
I think in law, I think the word reasonably
Okay.
doesn't only mean that it makes sense. It means it has been proven.
Okay.
We have to always remember that in
Specific,
law, you know, let's
okay.
say beyond reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
You know, so that your evidence surpasses any doubt that reason can create.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So when they have reasonably believed that there's evidence
They've
to
carried out
back up,
investigation,
you know.
and they've proven that this indeed happened. Anyways, the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, describes KAMA 2020 as a war against churches.
Wow.
And so CAN on Tuesday demanded the suspension of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. CAN, in a position paper, said that KAMA 2020, and I quote, has the potential that can further undermine the faith of stakeholders in the Nigerian state. This is just as the presidency said KAMA did not target religious organizations. It accused some politicians of latching onto the criticism of KAMA to wrongly characterize its purposes as an anti-religious law. And so the Special Assistant to the President on Niger Delta Affairs and former National Assembly Presidential Liaison Officer, Senator Ita Ennang, made the clarification during a brief ceremony at Secretariat of CAN in Abuja, where
so many positions in this country.
where he received the position paper of CAN on behalf of the President. Now, the letter signed by the President of CAN, Dr. Samson Ayokunle, was delivered by a former chaplain of Aso Villa Chapel. Now, the letter reads partly, "We consider the Act as indeed a complex of statecraft compendium, leading with issues that are grossly inimical to national interest, security, peace and stability, and overall well-being of the Nigerian state. It says, from the reaction of stakeholders and a cross-section of the Nigerian state, it is apparent that the act either did not receive input from the respective various interest groups or failed to accommodate their views, sundry concerns, and varying interests of the Nigerian. So just to summarize it, they're saying that it seemed that this act was not well thought out. It seemed that the proper stakeholders that ought to have been involved in formulating these laws were not. They were not involved at all.
Welcome to
and
our
so
world
it just seemed like the National Assembly decided on the clause and the provisions, and then they enacted this without, the thorough combing through of the different provisions of the act.
As I said, this is the problem with all this elitist organization. They always think they are too special. We are all Nigerians. When has Nigerian government ever consulted with any one of us before they pass any law or any policy? Why do you feel special? Why was they? When did they last consult any stakeholder? Anyway. But for me, what come out, it doesn't make sense, the backlash. Because as I said, many of the excuses they are giving that, government is corrupt. So why the government will appoint to the church might be corrupt. All these people, are they not your members in the churches and the mosques? All these people in government, are they not your members? For religious bodies to be coming out and boldly saying government is corrupt, shouldn't they just be ashamed?
So the members, like you stated, in the National Assembly, are they sufficient enough to make such laws that seemingly protect the interest of the general members, of the religious bodies? Because how many are there in the National Assembly?
I'm just saying that if you are calling them corrupt, are they not your members, first of all? That's what we should do. They are all Christians and Muslims. I've never seen any politician in Nigeria, come and do his campaign with Ifa priest by his side. There's always a imam or a pastor. We know how this is going. And suddenly now everybody in government is corrupt. Everybody in government is corrupt. Are you not the ones that pray for them? Let's not see. I saw General Overseer Adeboye in Abuja meeting Buhari over Kamabi.
Okay.
Right? How many Christians have died in southern Kaduna in the last month? Did he travel to go and see Buhari because of them? How many of his members, children, cannot go to school? Has he gone to Abuja to meet Buhari because of them? Instead, he built school that they still cannot afford with their money. So listen. Let's call a spade a spade. This is people protecting their own parochial interest, their narrow interest. Saying the government is bringing the trustee without going to court first. It's like me going to report a case to the police with saying that you are committing fraud. I put my allegation on my petition. I say that before the police come and arrest you, or come and interrogate you, or come and talk the case, they should first go to court.
With this Kama Act, honestly, whilst I see that it has its merits, I do have some reservations, and I did mention that last week, because first of all, let's even start with the nature of religious institutions. How a substantial part of the religious institutions in its own are voluntary, where a lot of the monies that you can see these religious institutions accruing are based off of their members' own free will to say, I want to give to God.
But what is free will? When it's also backed by scripture. I say if you don't pay, it's a sin.
I understand, and I feel like all these are different interpretations from our different standpoints, because if we take a look at what the Constitution does recognize the church as a business?
No, but it wants to begin to.
Fantastic. And so I believe that the government should not put the cart before the horse. If you want to recognize religious institutions as businesses, now that's another conversation. But if you know that the Constitution does not recognize religious bodies as businesses, why are you treating it as a business? Now, I understand that there's some arms and some parts of these organizations that might be purely commercial, like the sales of maybe some religious products like books, CDs and all that, which are taxed. Now, if these different organizations are not remitting their taxes, there is already existing law to enforce that. We have our tax laws. And so my question is, because the government, I just feel like sometimes they're just very used to coming up with their different laws. Whereas they see that they have shelved, or we see that they have shelved the enforcement of already existing laws. When it comes to fraud, we have laws addressing fraud. When it comes to sexual misconduct, we have laws addressing that. And so why come up with this that seems to be a rigid regulation of something that ought to be fluid and spirit-based? Why do that? Why not just maybe amend the already existing laws and include, some of these things?
I don't think the government is involved in the spirit business. So I don't think their law is spirit-based. I think this act is what is bringing the church organization into the government supervision. Because, everything in the country has to be bound by certain laws, right?
Of course.
So the church, in as much as they are a religious body, they also do things that are secular.
Of course.
That should have oversight.
Okay.
Because I believe that since they also hold public interest, the pastors too do not ask their members how the money should be spent.
Okay.
Before they spend money on doing anything, they don't consult. The same thing they blame the government for.
Okay.
They too are guilty of. They do not consult their members widely enough before they decide how the money of the church, where the money of the church should go.
Yeah.
So as I said last week at the show, if you remember, I said, let's use this to now practice some democracy in this country of giving power to the people that are funding organizations, which are the members of these churches. Let the members decide. Open a referendum for the members of churches to, decide what, they want.
Exactly. I think
their
that should be
religious
part of
bodies.
it.
Let's give the people the power to decide this.
Yeah.
I think that is how this can really be settled. But it won't be settled that way because both the church, the mosque, and the government don't want the people involved.
Oh.
This is a power struggle between elitists.
That's terrible. All right, guys, if you'd like to comment on this, please feel free to do that. You can get on Twitter at Lagos Talks 913 using the hashtag The People's Perspective, or call 0809-234-5913, 0809-222-0913. Lagos Talks. Okay, you can also send a WhatsApp message to 0809-234-5913 and call 0809-191-39113. What are your thoughts about the recent update on the camera law? Let's just take this one. Lagos Talks.
Happy weekend.
Happy weekend. Good morning.
Happy
Who's
weekend,
speaking?
Good morning, Petrol. What are you now?
I do. Who will they talk to?
Now you got to talk.
Hey, Buka is back!
Hi, Ebuka.
You're a good man. I understand now.
We did.
All right, get to it, Ebuka. You already know how we do.
The lady of the show.
Fantastic.
The Father Lord will help us through. You see, this time around. So this tape, what will they find? We're not going to stand today again. So, they're ready. If
Yes,
I
sir.
support it for the camera law, so they say, he that is giving one or he that is giving much, more is expected of them.
Yes, so.
If you are protesting in one thing, there will be another thing added to you, right?
Yes.
These are governments I have not seen. In so many sectors they have been managing, they have not given us accountability, transparency. They do try to put their things that inside their mouth. I wish I on one shoe. One has do one first. Now, people are strangling us like that person is here. I was just laughing. I don't want us to breathe. Fuel is going high. So once again, tariff plan, net pass. This country,
Honestly.
When Mr. Kuno and Sadiq was saying, I said, can we export the system of the Uyghurs, export it to them? Let's start with our own. We can rule ourselves if only we want to come down and do things, but we're not importing nonsense, something that is not helping us. Thank you very much.
All right, Ebuka, let's take
Thanks,
this
Ebuka.
one. Lagos Talks. Ooh, good morning.
Are you close to your radio? Are we
Yeah.
going to say that? Turn down your radio set.
Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Let's take this. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Yeah, this is Mickey. I'm calling from Lekki.
All right, welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, on this Kama bill, right?
Yes.
Trying to sit around some very educated Nigerians when they argue.
Okay.
Yeah. It's so disheartening that a lot of Nigerians really do not understand the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
We know that gifts are not taxed.
Yes.
Donations are not taxed.
Yes.
Right? Now, how can people sit just in their little palaces and begin to argue about taxation on donations made to churches? It's important that we take time to clarify this to people. The donations made to churches based on our constitution are not taxed. But if a church uses any of those money to go into any form of business, that's when the taxes will apply. And someone should correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay. All right. Is this your take? Is this your submission?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for that.
Well, I don't really think the karma is about taxing the church, really.
No.
I think the karma is about managing how that money is spent, not for, like the money should be spent for the benefit of the whole body of the church, not just for the individual development of the elders or the administrators of that religious institution. I mean, we should just look at it like Nigeria, the way people use Nigeria's commonwealth that should be for everybody to better their own life, right?
Yeah.
The pastor too does not have the right, no matter if you say it's the donation. See, don't mistake the authority of the Lord for your own personal authority. The donation is not for you; it's to the Lord and to the body of the church.
Yeah.
I mean, when you are collecting this money, you are telling us every time it's for God, it's for the kingdom, to increase the kingdom of the Lord, the glory of the Lord. They are not. So help the children. I think that is what I'm saying. I mean, taxation. I don't see anywhere in the world where religious bodies will be taxed, as long as they do the humanitarian services that they promise us that they are going to do.
All right, let's take this. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Ewa. I'm calling from Evia.
All right. Welcome. Let's hear you.
I think concerning this Kamal law, thank God for the last person that actually contributed and spoke that you don't tax that. You see, another complex issue concerning this is the fact that I love the submission of Dr. Molly. I know he's a judge in UK, who also is in Nigeria. I love the submission on Twitter because he raised some valid points. Because it came in the angle that, he said from the angle that, okay, if you appoint a trustee, is the trustee going to be paid? Who is going to pay their salary? Because those are the loopholes in the law. And now, how do you actually design who is actually a Christian to come and manage a church, so that before you now start appointing a non-Christian? Now, non-Christian means non-Christian, because not everybody that actually goes to church is a Christian.
Okay.
Because it's a spiritual base. So they know how they manage themselves, they know who is who, and they know their standing before they appoint to a particular. So how is CAC is going to design that particular specific position before you appoint somebody, so you don't appoint maybe somebody from the secret society, also a member in the church, and put him in the head of the church to manage the church.
Okay.
That's another angle. And then again, in a certain 1 year like that, if you have a problem like that in a certain church, does it mean that all their programs, because you know that churches have programs that they do, that they budget everything. So since that they won't have access to the money, so how are they going to do it in that particular year? Are they going to suspend all their program in their entire year? It's not also there. So there are a lot of loopholes concerning that law.
Okay.
For the fact that they can't say that when the issue actually came up in 2016 or 17, they were part of those people in those processes, and they actually discouraged some aspects of all those laws, which they agreed. What brought about this issue and about all this is the fact that they were surprised that some of all those things that they agreed not to be part of that law now found his way back through the back door into that law before it was signed. That
we
was
would have
where
to
he
let
was.
you go so that we can get more calls. But thank you very much for your take. Sorry, do you want to comment on that?
Well, you see, okay. You see, it is important that we do not muddle, because what I see as the arguments against this Karma bill are arguments to muddy the waters.
Okay.
Bring up as many things to scare people as possible just to keep the status quo. I mean, I don't see anything that has to do with. For me, if I'm going to appoint a trustee that on a church that has been reported for mismanagement, for misconduct of funds, I want to employ as a non-Christian as possible, so that the former criminals that were running the church will not have the influence over that person to make the person dispense their job. Because
Okay.
influence is another thing in Nigeria
Yeah.
that we should not hide like it doesn't exist. You know, so if it's a mosque, I would want a non-Muslim to be the one to investigate that mosque. I would not want
That's very
a Muslim
interesting.
to investigate. So the senior Alaji will now call him Ranka Dede.
says
He will say,
Ranka
"Oh, Alaji."
So, but-
I will call him. If I would like Oyedepo to investigate the mosque.
That's interesting.
And then that what's that headsman chairman that always may Ita Allah. So much
That's what the
material
religion
gain
is
involved.
about.
But we're not
But we
discussing
can't
this.
take away
But
from
we're not
that.
discussing the spirituality. Nobody's saying that they're going to bring a trustee to oversee your faith. They
But
say
that's
to
the
oversee
thing.
the affairs of the church. So that becomes a material secular issue. Nobody's saying they want to bring a trustee to oversee your faith.
But Seun, can you ignore a factor that is a major element of religion, which is spirituality?
No, but I'm saying that, okay, now let me give you an example. So now, churches have lots of money, right? That they save in banks.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why I do not believe in both Christianity and Islam. Because they preach to me a religion that has what is called an end button.
Okay.
So, it means one day, suddenly, this religion is telling us that the world is going to end. Jesus Christ is coming now. Muhammad is coming now. We are living in end times. But these same people save money for tomorrow.
Okay.
How can you tell me that you believe truly that Jesus is coming now when you also believe in tomorrow? These are the things that we navigate when we say we are spiritual. Because you are telling me, oh, you are believing that Jesus is coming now. But you also believe in tomorrow. And believing in two things.
But
is a
then, so
sin.
you cannot explain spirituality based off of logic, because even if
That
you
is
believe
what
that
I'm
Jesus is
saying.
coming now, but
Uh-huh.
there are also principles of success that are even being preached in the churches, saying that yes, so
So that's what
you
I said.
have all the things, but you need to
material
work
is
for
mixing,
it.
The material is mixing with the spiritual. We cannot now, for our own benefit, want to suddenly separate the two and be like, oh, it's spiritual, it's spiritual. Well, let's not say that. We know that the material plays a big role in the spiritual, especially in Nigeria. You understand?
But you know, this one is very complicated, Chin, because Nigeria is a very religious society, and
Yeah,
just
that's
a lot
what
of
I'm saying
Nigerians-
too.
Yeah.
That, okay, I'll put it to you again. As a Christian or a Muslim, are you allowed to believe in two things? Is it that you believe in Jesus Christ or you don't believe in Jesus Christ?
Okay.
That's one doctrine.
Okay.
That's a sin. Now, if you not believe in Jesus Christ and also believe in Ify, that's also a sin.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Let's
Jesus Christ and Muhammad, Allah and God, they require absolutism, absolute belief, right? So if we want to be really puritanist in our ideology of spirituality,
Yeah.
those that believe in Allah and Muhammad, Muhammad, God and Jesus, have no right to believe in tomorrow.
No, Shehu, I don't know what they
It's
taught you
true.
about Allah and Jesus, but
I'm
that's
telling
not what
you,
it
because
is,
Jesus
though.
Christ tells you, I'm coming now.
Even okay.
So
even
you have to,
in
so
the
you have to
context
live
of,
your life
in,
like
in
you have
the
to live for
context
the
of
now.
the fact that he's saying I'm coming.
So you
now.
have to live for the now. If you believe in Jesus, you cannot live. The moment you start planning for the later, for the tomorrow, you are negating that belief.
Shehu, maybe I should invite you to my church. Maybe they are
there's
teaching
nothing
you something
No,
different.
I'm telling you,
It's like
if
they're
Jesus
teaching you
Christ coming
something
now,
different. I don't know when he's coming now.
So
That's
he's
what the
not
Bible
coming again.
says. He's gonna come, but I don't know when he's coming.
Exactly,
I mean,
but he's coming.
if we knew
But
when he
he's
was
coming.
coming, there's so many things that we would do
But
quickly.
he's coming.
And now, but what does that have to do with karma?
So if you believe he's coming, this is what it has to do with karma is that I'm explaining that we, as much as we believe Jesus is coming as
Yes.
Christians, we also believe in tomorrow.
Which is expected.
Exactly. It's
Isn't
not
it supposed
expected,
to be so?
It is us rationalizing.
No, but I don't. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I should invite you to my church because that's not what they teach us. So that's not what they
This is
teach
what I'm
us.
saying. So really, so you're saying your church allows there to be flexibility in the spiritual.
Fluidity,
Exactly.
yes.
So that is what this karma bill is.
No.
Yes, it is. It is making sure that flexibility doesn't get out of hand. Yes, that, because it's already getting out of hand. People already flexibility to private
But
jets.
that's what we are saying. There are
on
already
holidays all over
there are
the world.
existing laws that address fraud, sexual misconduct. Some of these things that have been rife in religious organizations. How about you enforce those laws?
But organizations and individuals are different.
So why can't they amend the
Uh-huh.
laws
So
to
that's why
expand or extend to this?
They amended the Corporate Act, which is what deals with organizations, not humans. See, the laws for persons. Like I can go and owe BC of 100 million. I know if it's Seun and Kuti holding that BC, I'll have to pay. But if I have one company, that now use the company name to collect that gbese. It is not Seun owning the money. It is the company you'll be chasing.
This is from Francis saying, good morning, Ify and Seun. You make my Friday. I'm fired up any day, anytime. Seun, I like what you said about the effect of Occupy Nigeria move. It made in bringing the change and bringing the new set of oppressors. This is coming from... Listener says, Seun, please off your mic.
Instagram go and kick me out of my life.
Oh no!
I'm telling you,
What's going on?
There was too much truth.
Oh, oof. This is coming from Philemon saying, good morning, Seun. And the woman in the studio is Ify, okay? Just for next time. Saying Nigerians should add this to their knowledge. Our president, okay. So you're saying he doesn't have empathy is what you're saying. Even though we Nigerians cry till tomorrow about fuel hike and electricity tariff, then he's not going to do anything about it. Olise Buka is saying, I admire your courage to speak the truth to power and allow guys like Seun Kuti the freedom of expression on your media platform. Honestly, my dear presenter, I was losing hope in our future already, but seeing this kind of show on a local radio station broadcasting live is reviving my hope. Please, let us revive your hope. All right, guys, let's just quickly touch on the social media view, right? So, a few days ago, civil society organizations vehemently opposed the alleged moves to pass the controversial social media bill into law. Now, the CSOs, numbering about 7, I would name all of them, but we don't have time. They made their stand known at a press conference in Abuja. So, speaking on behalf of the CSOs, the co-owner of a particular, CSO called Center for Liberty, Raphael Adebayo, he described the alleged move to pass the bill into law as disturbing and very worrisome. He further stated that following the massive rejection of the bill at the public hearing that makes it dead since it directly infringes on the constitutional rights of Nigerians and it shrinks the civic space for the fact that the bill is still alive in the Senate. He's saying, according to popular news medium that just recently published a story, it alleged that the Senate, have already concluded plans to pass the bill, that they're going to hide behind the COVID-19 issue and other national issues and pass the bill without delay. Their plan is to do it once they resume, and it is already signed. So I believe this is where the meat of the story is, because we know that the bill had been shelved for a while. And so these CSOs are coming out to speak against some allegations that have been flowing around, saying that the Senate plans to immediately, when they resume for plenary, especially on this particular issue, to pass the bill into law. So what are your thoughts about this? Because we know that this has received a lot of backlash. Citizens have a lot of reservations about the provision and the clauses which seems to infringe upon, our human rights with freedom of speech and what have we. Because they had initially said that the aim of the social media bill is especially to curb fake news, because fake news has done a lot of damage in society. It's incited violence. It has destroyed the image and the reputation of people's livelihoods, and the list goes on and on and on. Now, that's what the government is saying that the social media bill is supposed to be providing. However, the citizenry thinks that this is a gag on the people's right to, express themselves freely. So what are your thoughts that they're saying that the allegations that they might pass this, into law? Quickly.
Well, I think this social media bill has been around for a while, that they've been throwing they've been hanging out around the neck of Nigerian people, like some, acts that can be, the sword of Damocles that they will use to just end us. Yeah, social media bill. Let me just tell our politicians. I don't know if it's true or not, whatever they are planning. Let me just tell them that we that want this Nigeria to be better, we are saying they can make their bill, but they can never ever kill our will to be free.
I like that.
You understand?
I like that.
Nkrumah did not liberate us with social media. There was not even aeroplane.
Oh, wow.
There was no email. We were liberated.
Yeah.
So the will of African people, you cannot bring any of your style to subdue it. It will happen, it will come to fruition. So you people don't waste your time. Look for something, look for where to hide to, plan how you run. Not social media. What is social media be?
Yeah, I just believe that, first off, just because I know I mentioned this before, that with our different media houses, you would see that a lot of the owners and a lot of the financiers of these different media houses have some sort of political affiliation or are politicians themselves. And so, to an extent, when a government of a country seeks to do this, if they feel like they are losing grip of platforms that are powerful enough to convey conversation and information that would emancipate and would enlighten the people, they begin to feel threatened because they, to an extent, are controlling the traditional media. And with social media, they haven't been able to control it to their will because we see that it's still a platform where we can freely express ourselves. And this is exactly what they're trying to do. But then question is, what really is fake news? Is fake news news that doesn't align with your own narrative? Because on this show, we get to see a lot of people calling in saying, oh, Ify, that report from the police that you read, it's not true.
Exactly.
I was there, face to face with what was happening. I even recorded it. It's totally different. So what really is that fake news?
And police has given different accounts.
Exactly.
So who is giving fake news? So as I said, what is fake news to one man is inspirational to others. It is true.
Like that.
It is the truth. It is the
like
truth.
that.
It is the truth. Can we go into any? I was speaking of religion just now. Can we hold any religion to the truth test completely, 100%? No, I mean, so these are things that we use to rationalize oppression, to rationalize tyranny. You understand? Because there's freedom of speech. There's freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And if we even go and let's go and investigate this hate speech they are talking about.
Okay.
Who can afford to sponsor hate speech in Nigeria?
When they're all perpetrators of hate speech.
Exactly. Is it one? And what is even hate speech?
Exactly. What
Is
is
it
it?
increasing telling us that you are increasing petrol in the midst of this kind of suffering? Is that not hate speech?
Or maybe because they're increasing it, they will now say, oh, you're trying to strangle us. They'll be like, oh,
that is hate speech.
You're accusing
No, I'm saying if somebody comes to tell you now that I'm increasing petrol in this kind of time, is that not hate speech? I'm reducing service interest rates on your account during this kind of time that nobody has job and work. Is that not hate speech?
It is.
What
hate
do we?
speech
Is it?
indeed.
So what I'm asking is it only hate speech when it angers the sensibilities of our rich and powerful?
There you go.
Or is it hate speech when it affects the sensibilities of the majority of Nigerians?
Yeah.
Because one guy talking on TV that now we must increase electricity tariff, well, no matter what people can do, that is hate speech against Nigerian people. So this hate speech we want to do, let's be sure, because we will drag ourselves up and down over it.
Let's take some calls. Lagos Talks, good morning. Welcome this afternoon.
This is Yusuf.
All right, Yusuf, let's hear you very quickly because we're running out of time.
Yeah. On the camera, I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
But the government getting involved, do they have that credibility of going into maybe churches or affair? Because just like Yoruba, in Yoruba they say that only do labor. The government that their house is not in order, full of corruption. Are they trying to bring another corruption? For example, I'm a civil servant.
Okay.
Before the minimum wage, we're collecting our salary. After they now improve the minimum wage, they now introduce IPPIS. And from that IPPIS, they now tax all the money terribly that we are earning lower than what we were earning before. So the government has no credibility. For Seun, I think you need to understand some religion before you talk about them. I'm a Muslim. You can see Muslims are not raising
my father is a reverend. My grandfather was a reverend. I mean, we built one of the first churches in this country. I think I kind of understand Christianity. That's why I don't really talk about Islam.
You come to my church and maybe we'll teach you something different because I don't understand this one that I say we should not believe in tomorrow.
You people, I'm telling you, you are only. They say you should only believe in. I say you should only believe in Jesus, and Jesus is coming now.
But then you're saying,
but Jesus is coming now.
But who said he's coming now? Where is he? Is he here?
Are you saying he's not coming?
He's coming, but
when
this is coming now.
Do you know when he's coming?
I don't know when he's coming
but
now.
You have to believe he's coming now.
Oh my gosh, yo. This is coming from Funshaw saying church tithe and offering and the mosque zakat are public resources. Government exists to manage and protect public interests and resources. Justin is saying, good morning, Ify and Seun. This hike in fuel price might just be the last straw. My people say even goats when no they harmful. If you reach war, he go turn face you. Okay. If you speak PG, don't do this kind of thing. Sometimes it comes. Sometimes I don't know. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Hello?
Hi, good morning. Hi, who's speaking?
Good afternoon. My name is Francisca.
All right, Francisca, quickly, we have a few seconds
I
left.
wanted to say something to
Seun.
Seun in the
All right,
studio.
hurry.
Seun, please. You know, sometimes when you was talking about spirituality and the importance of it, so you see, you totally thinking on it. I just wanted to ask a question until I realized that you say you don't believe in both Christianity and Islam. It's better you don't interfere with what you don't understand, please.
That's
Why?
interesting.
God bless you.
Okay, I mean, at the end of the day, we're seeing things from different perspectives. That is his perspective, and that is your perspective as well. We're open to all that. It is the people's perspective.
It's like saying because I'm not a politician, I should not discuss politics.
Affairs of politics, yeah.
Yeah,
but
that's ignorant.
Yeah, we-
Sorry.
All right, guys, we should be wrapping this up right here, right now. It's 12. It was another explosive edition of The People's Perspective.
Yes, as usual, you know, we enjoyed every minute you spent with us, and let's keep it up. Creating a really big, vociferous family that can bring progress to this country.
Vociferous.
Yes,
Fantastic. I've learned a new word. Vociferous family.
Oshe.
Oh,
I
okay.
studied that to bamboozle you today.
Hey, oh my gosh. All right, guys, remember this happens every Friday from 11 a.m. Let us see things from your perspective. Let us dissect these different pertinent issues. Tune in to Lagos Fox 91.3 Fridays from 11 a.m. for The People's Perspective. Seun, thank you. Always a pleasure having you here in the studio. Guys, you can reach out to me on Instagram and on Twitter at Ify_I. That is IFY_I. Seun, would you like to share your handle for those people who'd like to know more about you?
Yeah, I mean, Big Bird Kuti, BIGBIRDKUTI. You know, check it out. People say, why do I call myself the Big Bird? I say it's because I believe that the sky is big enough for all birds to fly. I'm just the biggest one, you know.
Okay, Seun. All right, I like that analogy. That's nice.
We are Lagos Talks 91.3.
Let's talk.